What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to another Vegas Odds breakdown here on the Vegas Odds YouTube channel. I'm your host of Fight Hands, Garrett. With me, as always, is my man, Joe Danger himself, Jessie. What's up, man? How's it going?
Just had a burger. I had to talk you into doing this. Thank you for joining me, Garrett. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the thickness of your beard, the cut of your jib. Now let's talk about some fights, some Bellator brawls.
Yes, Bellator 288 on tap Friday night live on Showtime pay-per-view. I'm kind of looking forward to this. You got the rematch between Corey Anderson and Vadim Nemkov. Very anticlimactic the last time out. Looking forward to this rematch. Then you have the lightweight championship on the line between Usman Nurmagomedov and Patricky Pitbull. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's start right at the top. The main event, the light heavyweight Grand Prix. The title's on the line, and $1 million is on the line right now. Corey Anderson is a minus 230 favorite, which is kind of crazy considering he was an underdog in the last fight, which we were about to cash in on until the fuckery happened for us. But, it is what it is. Let's get this up there. Right now, the line is minus 230 for Corey Anderson. The comeback of Vadim Nemkov, plus 195. Who do you got?
I'm going to pull out some deep cuts real quick. Do you remember, Garrett, a long time ago when you, I think it was a DraftKings lineup, and you had Corey Anderson was your last leg, I guess you could say. And if he won, you would have probably got a nice chunk of change. This is back in the UFC days. Do you remember this?
Yes, very vividly.
And he did not come through. And no. I was literally counting your money like from afar, and I was counting it early because there is no way that he should have lost, just like he should not lose this fight as well. Garrett told y'all the first time and y'all laughed. Would you look at the line now? Pretty crazy how someone can leave the UFC and dominate the way he has in Bellator. Unless Nemkov drastically changed his game plan, we will see more of the same. Anderson does have a questionable chin, as you very well know, Garrett. That's it. So if he wrestles and keeps Nemkov guessing, we should see an Corey Anderson decision here. I like him by decision. I think it's a good, a good way to bet this because I feel like minus 230 is a little steep. At that point, you might want to take a stab on Nemkov, but I just feel like Anderson has the tools to get this done. He's going to lay on him. He's going to, drain the clock. He's going to watch out for his chin. And I feel like Nemkov is going to kind of do the same. He's going to try to wrestle him, and ultimately we're going to get a decent performance out of both guys, but I just feel like Anderson has the tools to get this done. Styles make fights, and Anderson is on the right side of this one.
Yeah, I just don't think, the time off is just going to make Nemkov miraculously better of a wrestler against Corey Anderson here. I think it's going to be more of the same. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more competitive, but ultimately I think Anderson's going to get the job done, just like I thought he was going to get the job done the first time. He should have gotten the job done the first time, but it is what it is. But he's now a minus 230 favorite, which sucks because we had him at plus 130 last time, and he was my biggest bet on the card, and he was about to cash, and that should happen. But, he's serviceable on the feet. Yes, Nemkov is the better striker of the two, but I don't think, he's going to stop Corey Anderson on the feet. I thought he looked good and serviceable on the feet. He wasn't able to, didn't take a lot of damage, and I don't expect that here. He's the bigger, stronger of the two. He's able to stay out of harm's way, and his wrestling is just the equalizer here. I think he's going to be able to impose his will in the wrestling for the 25 minutes and get his hand raised, get the belt, and he's going to be the champ for a while, and he's going to get the $1 million. So, kudos to him for leaving the UFC, making an abundantly more money and an easier road for him as well.
Yeah, it's nice to see him.
What?
It's nice to see him be successful because I've always been a fan of his, and obviously until he lost you that big old bag. But I don't know. I think this is an interesting matchup. Really a lot of questions going into the first one, and I think that's what's kind of cool about these guys jumping from PFL, UFC to Bellator. We get these dream matches or these matches that we never thought we'd see, a lot like the Poirier fight from the last pay-per-view. That was an amazing fight, and that wouldn't have happened had Chandler jump ship. So I'm excited to see what happens after this fight, as well as just as excited as I am to see what happens during this fight.
Yeah, me too. Next up, we got a fight in the lightweight division for the lightweight championship in Bellator. We have Patricky Pitbull taking on Usman Nurmagomedov. Right now, Usman is one of the biggest favorites on the card at -660, and the comeback on Patricky Pitbull plus 490. What do you got?
Personally, I think Nurmagomedov, wins this one. And with a name like Usman Khabib, he really should. Hard to bet against Pitbull at these odds. And, he could dead the kid. I mean, has Usman really fought any names? Not really. I don't know. Pitbull at plus 400 and above seems like a worthy risk against anyone. So I like Usman to win via submission, but Pitbull plus 450, plus 500, it's probably worth a stab if you're feeling froggy, or in this case, Pitbully.
Yeah, I'm not too big on Patricky here. He is the much lesser of the two Pitbull brothers. I feel like his time is way past him. And I think the line is about right. I know Usman really hasn't beaten anybody, hasn't faced elite competition, but I think Patricky's pretty much on his way out. I mean, I just don't think he's definitely the shorter of the two. He's not as good on the feet. He's definitely not as good in the grappling. I do think he's got better jiu-jitsu, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it there. Usman, I think, is just an all-around better fighter. He's going to be the lightweight champ for a long time coming. He's not the same type of fighter as Khabib or even Islam for that matter. He's got good grappling, but he utilizes that to keep it on the feet where he's dangerous at range. He's super tall, super long and lanky, utilizes his kicks very, very well, and it's very hard for anybody, especially like Patricky, that's going to be able to get inside on him. I'm expecting Patricky to get knocked out probably inside 3 rounds. I think he's going to go out there and absolutely just style on him on the feet. Patricky's going to have to go in there and try to get some takedowns because I think he's going to be outmatched at range. He's very long. He's not going to be able to get inside the reach. And then I think he eventually puts him away on the feet. All right, let's keep it moving. Our next fight up is in the featherweight division between Daniel Weichel and Timur Khizriev. Right now, the line is set at Khizriev minus 350 in the comeback on Weichel. Plus 260. Who do you got?
11-0 Russian guy versus a guy that's pushing 40 with 55 fights. I wonder who will win this one. Hard to say how it gets done, though, as Weichel is, he is pretty tough, but I'm confident that Timur gets it down within the allotted time. And let's take him inside the distance and make a few extra bucks. I don't see this going the distance, and I don't see this being a competitive fight.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I Daniel Weichel is somebody I normally bet on against someone who's a much low level in terms of, in Bellator, because, he's a staple in Bellator. He's been in there for, forever. He's fought the who's who in Bellator. But this is definitely not the guy to take him against. Timur Khizriev, you know where you're getting from him. Just smash. And I'm expecting him to smash Weichel in this matchup. It's very bad matchup for him. I'm expecting him to just get ground and pound into oblivion. And that's all she wrote. Minus 300. Granted, it's actually not that bad of a line considering, Usman is minus 600.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, he gets the job done. I think we're going to get a lot of chalk. This main card is very, very chalky. The only one that I can really see losing is someone coming up in a couple fights. We'll talk about that in a second. But, I got Khizriev getting the job done here.
Yeah, I'm like you said, I am surprised that it is that's a decent line for what it is. I feel like that should be minus 500, minus 550.
Like a normal Bellator chalky line,
mm-hmm.
which is minus 500.
Yeah.
But Anyways, our next fight up is in the heavyweight division between Tyrell Fortune and Daniel James. Right now, the line is set at -300 for Fortune. The comeback on James +250. Who do you got?
These are big boys, especially James. Holy shit. 270 pounds, 6'6", 82-inch reach. Fortune just has a higher ceiling and a better IQ. James is near the end of his shelf life. So while he is the better specimen, he isn't the better fighter. I like Fortune to win here, but you never know. There's always one guy that shits the bed at these Bellator cards. Is it Tyrell Fortune this time? No. This is a huge step up for James, and Fortune should run away with it here. It will be a very obvious mismatch once this gets started. I like Tyrell Fortune by decision.
Yeah, it's very odd that they're giving Fortune this layup, and Daniel James, who's 40 years old. You know, yes, he's massive, but I mean, the guy's got 19 professional fights, and he's 40 years old coming into this fight, so he's got a ton of wear and tear.
And this is his Bellator debut.
Yeah, so it's very, very odd as to why they're making this matchup, but obviously we know what they're doing. They're making Fortune get an easy win and just rise the stock a bit. Because, I mean, Fortune was fighting guys that were, you know, in the title contention. He was working his way up the ladder, and then, you know, he ran into some roadblocks where he's gassing out. He lost to Linton Vassell. He lost to Saeed Salma as well. You know, so they're like, okay, let's bring it back a little bit. Let's get him an easy win. Let's get him some confidence. And they're giving him Daniel James. I'm surprised this line is only -300. This is another line that I'm expecting that should be. He's going to look like he's -600 out there.
Yeah.
You know, he was a high level wrestler, might I add. I mean, dude's wearing USA for a reason. You know, and he's got power in his hands. I'm expecting him to get a ground and pound TKO or even just a knockout on the feet in the first round. I mean, he should steamroll this guy, and he's been training with Ryan Bader coming into this matchup. I think he's got a lot of, he's got a lot of promise coming into this matchup. And like I said, one of the easiest fights he's had in years. So give me Tyrell Fortune going in there and absolutely starching Daniel James. All right, last but not least, which is the first fight on the main card, in the welterweight division between Roman Faraldo and Levon Chokali. Right now, Faraldo is a -195 favorite to come back on Chokali +165. What do you got?
Yeah, this is actually a hell of a matchup, and I think this is a great fight to open up the card. Chokali has faced some decent competition, but every time he takes a step up, he seems to lose. Faraldo is on a hell of a run, and he's beat some decent competition or did some decent guys during his winning streak. Faraldo looks for the finish the entire fight, but even if he doesn't get it, he should get the nod here because in the judges' eyes, I feel like he'll appear more active. The blueprint is out to beat Chokali, and I look for Roman to take full advantage of that. I'm not completely confident, but I do like Roman Faraldo by KO, and I think that is going to be what happens. But I mean, like you said, and I think what you were alluding to is that this one is a little bit closer than a lot of the other fights on this card.
Yeah, agreed. This is arguably the closest fight on the main card. Doesn't mean Faraldo is going to lose, but I definitely think it's going to be the most competitive. And I feel like it's going to go into decision. I think it's going to be very, very close decision because this is arguably the best opponent that Faraldo has faced thus far in his career. It doesn't mean he shouldn't win. I do think he does win. I think he's got the power advantage. I think, like you said, he's going to have the volume advantage. And Chokali is going to, go right into his ballpark, which is striking. He likes to strike too. He likes to get knockouts. So these guys are just going to stand and bang until one of them falls, or they're just going an all-out war for 15 minutes. Where I do think Faraldo has an advantage because he's taller, he's longer. I think he's got more power. He's got more in his arsenal, and he's got the volume advantage. So as long as Chokali doesn't knock out Faraldo, I think he should win this fight. It's going to win. It's going to be when Faraldo faces some type of grappler that's really, that's got decent enough stand-up to compete and be able to mix in the takedowns to really beat him. And I don't think Chokali is fits that bill. So I'm taking Fajardo to win. Yes, I know I'm on all favorites here, all 5 favorites, but that doesn't really mean anything. I just feel like those are the right sides. Those are, what Bellator is giving us, unfortunately. So yeah, that's
typical Bellator card.
Yeah, it really is. Outside of the top 5, there's really not much really to look forward to in this card. So I'm treading lightly, but I will definitely be betting a little bit on this card. I got to bet on my boy Corey Anderson in this spot. I did last time. It's gonna happen this time again. So let's keep the train rolling. How about that?
Yeah, I like it. And it's definitely. I mean, we got 5 decent fights. We got some names, but at the same time, even if we didn't, it still definitely is going to overshadow the card the following day. So,
yeah, Bellator 288 definitely overshadowing that UFC Vegas 65 for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we got for you guys for this week's breakdown here on the Vegas Odds YouTube channel. I need you guys go to the Vegas Odds YouTube channel and like, subscribe, and comment on here. We want to hear your thoughts, whether we suck, whether you like it, or whether you cash some bets, whatever. We want to hear from you, and we will see you guys next week for more money in your pockets. I think we got PFL next week. PFL is back. The championship is on deck. We will see you then. See you guys next week.